You need to have this stuff on hand, guys. It doesn't do any good to have all the fun, shoot 'em up stuff, all your ammo, body armor, and all that stuff. It doesn't matter if your family starves because you haven't spent a little bit of money to get a whole lot of food. That's what this video is all about. Let's get right into it, guys. My name's Austin. This is the Dangerous Farmer channel. Thanks for being here. Today, what I want to go over is something that is not the cool, sexy stuff that a lot of us like to do. We like the gun stuff. We like to train. We like to practice with our concealed carry stuff. That's the fun stuff. So some key points for why you want to have some food put away is crisis is unpredictable. We don't know when it's coming. The world's in a constant state of flux. Political, economical, social disruptions, natural disasters. If you're in Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida right now, or let's say 2021, you were the freeze in Texas that happened and nobody had heat sources or food put away. You don't know when it's going to happen. So it just pays to be ready. This stuff is too cheap to not be ready. It blows my mind how much flack I get for having this stuff when all those people that are saying things have insurance on everything they own. The whole concept of insurance isn't you buy it because you know you're going to need it. You buy it because you might need it. And so I feel like this applies perfectly to that concept. Broad theme of the video. $100 budget, roughly, give or take a little bit. How much can I get and how long can it be stored? There are going to be things that you will pass over in favor of something that's cheaper or more volume, which usually kind of winds up being the same. I would rather have black beans. Pinto beans were cheaper. We got pinto beans. This video is to get you a good foundation of food preparedness, and then you can build on it from there. So all this stuff up here, you can get all this stuff later. Canned meats are awesome. Keystone's great, but it's a little bit expensive. It's out of the scope of this video. All this stuff comes from the Church of the Latter-day Saints. They're big on prepping. They have their own canning facilities. So spaghetti bites, which this is from Augustin Farms, chicken bouillon, cheese powder, flour, macaroni, potato flakes, sugar. They've got all kinds of stuff that lasts a really long time when stored in these number 10 cans. That's out of the scope of this video. This is what we're working off for this particular video. In this video, I bought things that, when properly stored, can last 25 years plus. Roughly. The bulk of it will last that long. Some of the stuff like the canned tuna that I got is not going to last as long, but this is something we eat anyway. So a lot of times what we'll do is eat it, restock it. You can do what's called copy canning. Buy two, eat one, buy four, eat two, whatever, and you build your stock, but you rotate your stock so your newest food goes in the back and you use the food that's already in there, and so you're constantly rotating your stock. This ain't gonna last as long, but it will last quite a while. Now, when I say properly stored, I am meaning Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers inside of food grade buckets. These are Mylar bags. These are oxygen absorbers. These oxygen absorbers are vacuum sealed in these bags so that they're not absorbing oxygen while they're in storage. Cut them open. Once they're cut open, you need to use all of them that's in the bag. Throw a couple of these inside the Mylar. There's a bazillion videos online of how to seal those up and how to do that. That's outside of the scope of this video today. But when I say properly stored, I mean Mylar, oxygen absorbers, food grade buckets. Food grade buckets you can get at your grocery store, any grocery store that's got a deli. I got with mine today and got 6 buckets with lids that have rubber gaskets for $1 a piece, including the buckets. You can't even get non-food grade buckets for that at Menards, Lowe's, Royal King, Home Depot. Not even close. They're probably $3 or $3.50, $4 a bucket, something like that. These are food grade. I'm not super concerned about it not being food grade if it was another bucket because it's in Mylar, but these are cheaper anyway. I'm going to use the food grade buckets. Hey, it's future me. Let me jump in real quick to talk about something vitally important to the context of this video. We talked about how much the food costs and how long it lasts in terms of shelf life, but we didn't talk about how long the food will last if you are actively eating it. So let me break this down really quick. 50 pounds of rice, 80,000 calories. 24 pounds of beans, 36,000 calories. 10 pounds of rolled oats, 18,000 calories. The 5 pounds of pasta we got, 8,000 calories. There's about 45,000 calories in the sugar, but we're not going to include the sugar because it's not a, I'm not going to consider it food. It's more of an additive to make things more palatable. The salt, no calories really in the salt, but I think it's safe to say that it can be used for years probably at the amounts that you'll be using it to season foods. So the calories of the actual food is 142,000 calories. Now they say a starvation diet is roughly 1,200 calories a day. That's probably more than really what starvation diet is, but let's go off of 1,200 calories a day. For one person at 1,200 calories a day, 142,000, total calories divided by 1,200 is 118.3 days. That is basically 4 months worth of food at 1,200 calories a day. Now, if you've done 2,000 calories a day, which is kind of generally what everybody bases things on, then 142,000 divided by 2,000 is 71 days of food, over 2 months worth of food for one person for $100. Now scale that up. Buy this $100 worth of stuff again for another person in your family and build out the same amount of time, or you can think of it in terms of less time for the food. Hopefully emergencies would never last 71 days, but you never know. Use your best judgment and do what you think's right for your own family for that. All right, let's get back to the rest of it. So, the dynamic duo of prepping food for long-term storage is and has pretty much always been rice and beans. I prefer black beans. Pinto beans were cheaper. We went with pinto beans for this video. Properly stored, 25 to 30 years shelf life on those. 26 bucks for this 50-pound bag at Sam's Club. These are $12 for 12 pounds, so they're a little more expensive, but they are also more nutrient dense and they last so long that it is not something that I would pass on just in favor of rice. Plan on getting both. Rolled oats, same. When properly stored, 25 to 30 year shelf life. A little bit of honey or sugar or milk powder you can make with milk powder, which is not in today's video. It's more towards the bigger scope of things where you start branching out and getting some variety in your diet or in your preps. You can, this is an old bag. It's actually out of date by 14 years. So I've got to get more of this, and I need it to be properly stored. Somebody gave this to us and it wasn't ever properly stored, and we've kind of kept it because it still feels like it might be okay. Maybe I'll hang on to it and store it, but we need to get more of that. But you can make butter with evaporated milk. A little bit of butter, some honey or sugar with this, and a little bit of that is mixed up in the milk, and you got a pretty tasty, nutrient-dense, high-calorie breakfast, meal, dinner, whatever you need it for. Along with the theme of this video is knowing that this stuff is not stuff that you are going to want to eat all of the time. This is stuff to keep you alive at the most basic level when something bad goes down and you don't have anything else to choose from. All right, so that is rice, beans, oats. We also got a 25-pound bag of sugar. Same thing. Sugar may harden if it gets moisture in it, but it will not go bad. You can still break it up, break the clumps up, and use it. But in the Mylar with the oxygen absorbers and the buckets, you know, the buckets, of course, keep mice out of everything. I'm not sure if it would clump or not. It shouldn't clump, but it's going to be fine. You're going to be able to eat it pretty much indefinitely, probably longer than 25 or 30 years. Pasta. All of the same applies to pasta. Stored correctly, 25, 30 year shelf life. It's not that expensive, and it adds a little extra variety to your food preps. And I think this one gets overlooked some. Salt. This is a 25-pound bag of salt. It was 10 bucks at our local GFS, which is like a restaurant supply store. This is going to make all of that taste way better. It's a necessary mineral that you need for life. I would prefer to have something like a Himalayan pink salt or some kind of fancy sea salt with more minerals in it. But when you're talking bulk and when we're talking limited to our $100 budget, then we go with the cheapest option. This is going to be just fine. It's iodized table salt. It goes through a process that refines it and makes it last even longer. And it just like sugar, is pretty much going to last indefinitely. Even if it, I mean, it was a chunk at one time before it was granulated. At least rock salt is anyhow. If it chunks again and hardens up, break it up and keep on using it. It's not that big of a deal. But another one of the benefits of this, besides just simply flavor, is it is a fantastic preservative for meat. So if you have the ability to hunt or fish, you can use salt to help you cure and preserve that. If you don't have the ability to hunt or fish, you do have the ability to use the salt to preserve Rufus from down the street. But anyway, salt, cheap enough that you can buy it in bulk, and that's what we're going to go with. Last and final thing on the list is not necessarily for food, but if you made it this far, I appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. I'm going to make a video going over what this is for and how to use it. But to give a quick answer, heat and light source that lasts up to 70 days. I've seen some people say 72 days, I think it was. When I done the math on the BTUs that's in this, I was getting around 41 days or so. We're going to call it 40. That's still quite a bit of time to have a small heat source and a small light source in just a few items that you buy at the store. This doesn't make you self-reliant. This is a very small part of it, but this helps. And if you're squared away at home, then you are able to help your neighbors and other people that need any assistance that you can offer. It's an election year, so we don't know what's going to happen. The way things have happened for the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 years, tensions get very high. You're a fool if you want civil war, but you're also one if you don't see what's coming down the road and prepare for it. Just a quick little video, folks, to try to help you be a little bit more prepared. I really appreciate you watching. And if you like this type of content, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. Comment down below what I missed, what you would do differently, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.